Check this out. In June, the number of new houses for sale in the United States rose to a 16-year high. Well, that all changed in July because the number of houses for sale decreased to a 6-month low as sales increased by 11% compared to the previous month. I have a lot to share in today's video. Let's begin. This is based on a brand new report from the US Census Bureau, which covers sales of brand new single-family houses across the United States for the month of July, just posted on August 23rd, which is today. So a friendly reminder, I've been making this video for years now. This is a monthly update from the Census Bureau. They define a home sale that's defined as a deposit taken or a sales agreement signed between a home buyer and home builder. Therefore, these sales really act more like a pending home sale. In other words, an offer being accepted by the home builder instead of a closed home sale. All right, let's go ahead and dive in and talk about sales, and then we'll talk about inventory numbers, and then of course, home prices as well. So these numbers, by the way, are seasonally adjusted. They're also in thousands of units. So for the month of July, there was 739,000 brand new home sales. After doing a seasonal adjustment, multiply that by 12, that'd be more or less the number of new home sales over the next 12 months. That is based on the seasonally adjusted annualized rate. What's also astonishing about this figure at 739,000, this basically crushed the forecast because the forecast was only calling for only 624,000. Now this July, it increased to 739,000, well above the street's forecast. On top of that, this is the fastest sales pace since May of 2023. In addition, the gain from the previous month, which of course was in June, surged by 10.6%. That's actually the biggest month-to-month gain we've seen since September last year. On a year-over-year basis, sales increased by 5.6%. Every market's different though, right? Here's a look at the Northeast, the Midwest, the South, and the West. So on a month-to-month basis, June compared to July, sales, basically skyrocketed in the West, up by nearly 34%, whereas the South barely squeaked out a gain, increasing by 2.9. On a year-over-year basis, the Midwest increased the most, increasing by 17.1%. Something is, kind of to be aware of as well, is that this South region is the vast majority of all home sales in the United States, encompassing more than half of all home sales in the US. After that was the West at 195,000, but only 31,000 in the Northeast and only 89,000 in the Midwest. So overall, what happens in the West and the South really kind of dictates what's going to happen regarding the overall US numbers here. In my opinion, the reason why we saw a big surge in home sales in July was due to a decrease in rates, but also due to something else as well. So the average 30-year fixed rate, according to Freddie Mac, as of July, again, that's when the offer was accepted, right? Decreased to 6.85%. That's actually the lowest levels we've had going back to March of 2024. So decreasing rates, especially compared to October last year, when the average rate for the month was at 7.66%, quite a bit higher compared to the 6.85% we saw this July. So that's number one. Here's number two. So builder confidence for the month of July actually decreased to 42. A kind of way to look at this is that a measure of 50 means that builders are neither pessimistic or optimistic about a housing market. Any number above 50 means that builders overall are optimistic about our housing market. And of course, a figure below 50 means that builders are less confident about building brand new single-family houses. So the index at 42 this July was the lowest reading since December of 2023. So builder confidence for the month of July was at very low levels, but sales rose. So why did sales increase? And that was because of rates decreasing, but also do this right here. 31% of builders cut home prices to increase sales in July above June's rate at 29%. So overall, builders decreasing home prices, but also using more sales incentives. That held steady at 61% in July. So 61% of home builders offered some form of incentive to home buyers, in July. So what are those sales incentives? I want to share 3 emails I received in the past week or so. I got a lot of emails as of late from home builders or sales reps from home builders offering all these incentives in order to entice me as an agent to bring my buyers to their developments. So I'm not going to share the builders' names here, but here's the email I received about 1 month ago. In fact, they're offering a 4.99% fixed interest rate loan for quick move-in ready houses. If you guys follow the channel, I always say how if you guys want to find a deal on a brand new house, look for a house that is already completed from the home builder, because home builders are basically much more motivated to sell a completed house because of all sunk costs in building a house compared to a dirt lot in which the home builder hasn't even started construction yet. They're not going to negotiate very much. So if you guys want to find a good deal, this is kind of, proof right here. They're offering a 4.99% interest rate to buy a move-in ready home. In other words, in my area, that means the house is going to be built in the next 3 months or it is already completed. That was one email received about a month ago. Then last week, I received this email. We pay competitive market rate commissions. So in other words, enticing realtors or real estate agents to bring your buyers to their development because you can get a competitive interest rate commission, but also a competitive interest rate for your loan as well. Another one I want to share with you guys, special financing as low as 4.5% for a 30-year fix. Also, solar is included in the price. They're also offering a 2% co-op for real estate agents. That's basically saying here, based on the sales price, we'll give you or give your broker 2% of the sales price. Please let me know if you need information about special financing. Don't miss this excellent opportunity for your buyers. So I want to share this because obviously, if you're a home buyer, you're probably not going to get these emails unless you sign up for home builders email lists. But these are emails that are directly impact or directly sent to real estate agents in order to entice them to bring buyers to their developments. And this could be one of the reasons why we're seeing sales increase for the month of July. More incentives for agents, but also buyers. But on top of that, lower interest rates as well. All right, moving on. I also want to share our good Uncle Fred as well regarding sales. Again, 739,000, the highest level since May of 2023. On top of that, at 739,000, even though it's way below the peak back in October of 2020 at over 1 million units, this is still much higher compared to pre-COVID levels. So for example, back in July of 2019, only 648,000 home sales. Again, the sales pace back then, now it's at 739,000. All right, let's change gears slightly here and talk about inventory numbers or the number of new houses for sale. And a new home could be a dirt lot, or it could be a house under construction, or a completed house as well. These are all sales or houses according to the US Census Bureau. So what happened in June, take a look at this. In June, there was 467,000 houses for sale, tied compared to May as well, also at 467,000. That is the highest amount of new home construction for sale since March of 2008. That all changed in July though, because in July that decreased to 462,000, the lowest rating since January this year. So it basically got reversed due to sales increasing by 10.6% compared to June. Also, for comparison's sake, regarding inventory levels, the peak was back in July of 2006. Back then, 572,000 houses for sale or new homes for sale. The trough or the record low was set back in July of 2012 when there was only 142,000 houses for sale. In my opinion, like I mentioned right there, this was very low back in 2012 because a lot of home builders basically, put their brakes all together in order to build houses in 2009 through 2012. That's why they had a lack of houses for sale back in 2012, right after the recovery of the Great Recession. All right, let's also have a look at the month supply as well. That's at 7.5 months, a decrease of 10.7% compared to the previous month, but up by 2.7% year over year. also at 7.5 months. This is actually the lowest reading, actually tied for the lowest reading since September last year. Let's have a look at our good Uncle Fred regarding inventory levels. So 462,000, lower compared to the peak, which was set back in May and June at 467,000. That, at that time, was the highest level since March of 2008. Now, at 462,000, this is actually the lowest level since January this year. In regards to the month supply at 7.5 months, this is much lower compared to the peak back in July of 2022 when it surged to 10.6 months. But at 7.5 months, this is way below, or way higher, I should say, compared to July of 2019 at 6.1 months. Let's look at July of 2018 as well. July of 2018 was at 6 months supply. So the month supply right now at 7.5 months is still very much elevated compared to pre-COVID levels. All right, let's change gears slightly here and talk about home prices and the US median sold price based on this report. So overall for the nation as a whole, the US median sale price just under $430,000. This is the highest levels since March this year at $436,000. So the highest level since March this year, but still lower compared to 1 year ago. 1 year ago, we're at $435,800. So therefore, home prices have decreased by 1.4% compared to 12 months ago. I also did some digging for you guys as well, looking at pre-COVID levels. So for example, this July compared to July of 2019, the US median sale price skyrocketed by $122,000, or a giant increase of 40% over the past 5 years. Something I found to be interesting regarding home prices on a national level here as well is that we're not seeing a giant surge of multi-million-dollar properties being sold as well. So for sales for over $1 million, there was 4,000 last July. This July, 3,000. So actually fewer home sales for over $1 million. And basically these figures, not a lot of difference between the higher end of the market. So for example, 800,000 to just under $1 million, 2,000 sold last July. And in July this year, only 3,000. So not a surge of multi-million or over $1 million properties being sold. In fact, the percent distribution of houses sold over $1 million was 6% of all home sales were over $1 million back in July last year. This July, only 4%. Sales in the range of $800,000 to $1 million represented 3% of all home sales last year, and now it's at 5%. The big difference I saw, though, was in the range of $400,000 to basically $500,000. Last year, it was at 27%. This year, only 18%. So this year, we're seeing less sales in the range of $400,000 to $500,000 compared to July of 2023. All right, last table I want to share with you guys. This is an important one as well. Something I've been talking about for quite some time regarding a high number of completed houses for sale. But before that, I want to share the houses that sold by stage of construction. So again, there was 739,000 was the sales pace this July overall. Not yet started, only 119,000 sales. Under construction, 285,000. But we actually saw a high share of houses that were completed that actually sold. 335,000 out of the total 739,000. So about 45% of all home sales in July came from a completed house, which is exactly what I've been telling you guys. If you guys want a good deal, find a completed brand new house. If you want to buy a brand new house, you're not going to get a good deal, or you're not going to get as good of a good deal if you buy or put a deposit down on a dirt lot and the home builder starts building a house and the house is completed 6 to 12 months from now. Home builders are much more incentivized to sell completed houses compared to dirt lots, for example. So this is kind of what I found to be interesting. So 335,000 completed houses that sold this July. Look at what happened 1 year ago. The majority of sales in July of 2023 were actually houses under construction. And after that were completed houses. So the The sales of under construction versus completed basically got reversed. More sales of completed houses right now compared to 1 year ago. Now, having said that, let's look at inventory levels, because even though they're seeing 45% of all home sales from completed houses, the number of completed houses for sale still is increasing basically every single month for about a year now. So there's 102,000 completed houses for sale. This is a giant increase, up by 44% from 12 months ago. On top of that, at 102,000 houses completed that are for sale, that's the highest for any month going back to October of 2009. And that's this right here, according to Uncle Fred. The highest level since October 2009. Back then, we were at 106,000 completed houses for sale, and now we're at 102,000 right now. Also on top of this, let me just kind of zoom in over the past 5 years. The all-time record low was set more or less in February of 2022, only 31,000 completed homes for sale. Now it's basically 3 times that at 102,000. So please leave me a comment below with your thoughts regarding today's video. Also, leave me your thoughts regarding what's going to happen next month as well, once they report August numbers as well. Because in August, remember, we're still in August, but in August, average 30-year fixed rates decreased further as well. So would that entice more buyers to buy a brand new house or not? Please leave me a comment below. Also, I appreciate you guys watching today's video. If you guys want a real estate agent referral, please email me at jason@meetjasonwalter.com or check out my website, which is realestateteamfinder.com. And of course, if you guys want to buy or sell a house in the greater Sacramento area, you can email me as well at jason@meetjasonwalter.com. Thank you for watching today's video. I appreciate you so much, and we'll see you in the next one. Thank you.